Hello and welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News. You're with me, Opile Kaisa. The headlines. President Mutharika to officially open the 2026-2027 budget meeting of Parliament tomorrow, Friday. Government commits to strengthening the arts and culture sector to drive tourism and the country's economic growth. And the National Registration Bureau describes Phase 1 of the National Birth Registration Campaign as a success, having registered 1,064,000 children. And now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will officially open the 2026-2027 budget meeting of Parliament tomorrow. A statement by the State House Press Office says President Mutharika will arrive at the Parliament building at 10 o'clock in the morning. As President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is expected to deliver the State of the Nation address at the opening of the 2026-2027 budget meeting of Parliament, MBC has found out that there are expectations that of what the budget should address. Our reporter Patrick Dambula with the details in this report.
That time is here once again when the nation will be ready and eager to hear from the President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, as he will be delivering the State of the Nation address, otherwise known as the SONA, at the opening of the 2026-2027 budget meeting of Parliament this coming Friday. Ahead of the SONA, MBC sought views of several people to hear their expectations from the 2026-2027 national budget. For Christopher Tamvani, promoting tourism is the way to go if government is to generate the much needed forex.
If the government can promote tourism, it will be better. And even if they can open some companies, it can be so better.
Another resident of Lilongwe, Mavudo Kamlaike Ruhanga, says as the country is coming from a tough economic spell, he will be looking forward to a recovery budget.
Me as a citizen, what I'm expecting more is like a recovery budget that will make things better in terms of pricing. So yeah, I think we're expecting a recovery budget.
MBC also sought the views of some members of Parliament on the upcoming budget. Anthony Masamba, who represents Nchinji Northeast, says he expects nothing but unity among all members of Parliament because the budget, which will be tabled, is for all Malawians.
I expect members of Parliament to be united because this is the budget for all Malawians. It does not belong to a particular political party represented in the August House. So I expect the Parliament to be united, members of Parliament to be united, members of Parliament to pay much attention to the figures that will be presented in the House for them to scrutinize these figures so that the budget should be able to provide solutions to several challenges that Malawi as a country is going through.
We also sought the views of member for Nzimba North, Catherine Nzumala, and she says her expectation is a budget which will help to stabilize the economy.
My expectation of a member of Parliament is that this budget will stabilize the economy, that this budget will speak to the poor people in the village, not only on infrastructure transformation, but also on empowerment of the youth, creation of jobs, and reduce poverty, as well as making sure that Malawi has enough forex.
Speaking in his capacity as a player in the private sector, Vizenge Kumwenda says in the 2026-2027 budget, government should consider giving incentives to the private sector to induce production for exports.
As private sector, my expectation is that the budget will be friendly to private sector in terms of giving incentives that can motivate us to engage in production, to engage in export-oriented production, because forex is a big issue, and government needs to give special incentives to industry so that we can engage in export-oriented activities to generate forex. That's a big one.
For his part, Speaker of Parliament Samia Suleiman says considering that this is a budget meeting, Parliament is aware of the huge responsibility ahead of them and they are ready to support the vision of the President for the benefit of Malawians.
It is the first budget for the current government administration, and the Malawians are expecting a lot from this budget. And as Parliament, we are prepared to support the government's agenda and our President's vision of physical monetary policies, but also proper spending and making sure that we safeguard our resources and that Malawians start seeing the benefits from the budgets.
As the president will be delivering the SONA this Friday, Malawians expect the president to outline strategies which will sustain and enhance the economic gains which are already visible since the coming of the current administration. Patrick Dambula, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Meanwhile, there is a sense of optimism among some citizens, including those in the northern region, ahead of President Mutharika's State of the Nation address, that he will prioritize key issues that will transform the country following his return to power. They cited critical areas such as economy, agriculture, education and infrastructure development, among others. Hassan Piri reports.
According to businessman Makhama Mulewa, he is expecting that President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will give a clear roadmap on how the 5 billion Constituency Development Fund campaign promise will be turned into reality, saying this is the game changer Malawians have been waiting for.
Expectation is very huge, and we are waiting for a massive development that will come from the SONA. You remember from 2014 to 2019, the state president said that I want to change Malawi to be like Singapore. And obviously with the introduction of the CDF for 5 billion, I know that Malawi will never be the same. And on top of that, in that SONA, for example here in the north, we would like to ask the president to also look into the road network in the northern region.
In his remarks, Innocent Marino, who is a pastor based in Nzuzu, says one of the critical areas which the president should tackle in his first State of National address since his re-election should be agriculture. He says people in the north depend highly on farming, so if the president tackles issues of farm input subsidy program and change the way it has been managed, will help to change the narrative.
He has been ushered into power. We have seen the reduction of maize prices. At the moment, each and every Malawian, even the poorest, are able to have food. So, which is something that we appreciate so much. So we have got high expectations on farming, because here in the northern region, there are a lot of farmers, or the northern region produce a lot of food crops or even cash crops. So we have got that expectation that the president will look into that, like he has just doing in terms of fertilizer subsidy.
Gifting Asulu, who is into a state agent business, says the SONA, which is coming this Friday, will give a clear direction on how the economy is going to grow, considering the fact that Malawi is coming from forex, fuel challenges and hyperinflation backgrounds, among other challenges.
Looking at areas like forex, we are looking at the areas like the inflation. We are looking at many areas. When we talk of the forex in the economy, we are totally dependent on intertrading. So intertrading will only work when we have got foreign currency. Without foreign currency, we cannot trade with other countries. So that has been the trend in the past regime, that we were failing to have forex in the banks. We were failing to have forex for trading. Nowadays, our young ones are able, our youths are able to purchase cars from outside the country, coming to this country, which was a drawback by then.
General perspective of the people in the northern region is to see how the city of Nzuzu, which is the hub of the region, will be transformed to having dual carriage roads and reduce traffic congestion, which is becoming a problem, the issue of Mombera University and Nzuzu University Library, among other things. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Nzuzu.
Residents of Kwisa in Balaka have welcomed the opening of a new health facility aimed at improving access to medical services and easing pressure on Balaka District Hospital. The center, whose construction was initiated more than a decade ago, is expected to serve over 27,000 people. Isaac Jali has the details in this report.
Residents of Kwisa in Balaka district have welcomed the opening of Kwisa Health Center, a project initiated more than a decade ago by the then Member of Parliament for the area, First Lady Madam Professor Gertrude Mutharika. The facility comprises an outpatient department, a maternity wing, a laboratory, a dispensary, and a pharmacy. Speaking during the official opening ceremony, Minister of Health Madalitso Waloi commended the First Lady for championing improved access to health services in the area. Waloi said the new facility also demonstrates the government's commitment to strengthening healthcare delivery, particularly in rural communities. Waloi further said the availability of modern equipment and well-trained personnel alone is not sufficient to guarantee quality service delivery. She therefore urged health workers to maintain professionalism, show compassion towards patients, and refrain from malpractices such as drug theft.
This is one of the health centers that within Balaka, it is operated by a doctor. This is the direction that we are taking as Ministry of Health. We want to make sure that we move services closer to the people as guided by our health sector strategic plan 3 that we are using. So this is a very good development here, and we want to decongest Balaka District Hospital, and this is one way of doing it. It has been constructed with support from our partners, German, UK, and also Norway. The message has been standard. We want health workers to stop stealing. We want to provide good services. When we talk of quality care, we want patients to be taken as customers. That is what we are advocating in our hospitals. So I've warned the workers here to say we don't want the equipment, high standard equipment that is here, to be stolen by health workers, and at the same time we don't want the spirit where health workers are shouting at the patient. We want to make sure that the patient is at the center of service delivery.
Deputy Head of Cooperation at the German Embassy, Susan Matthew, whose government supported the project, called on authorities to ensure the facility is adequately staffed and consistently supplied with essential medicines and equipment to maximize its impact.
We are very excited that finally the Kwisa Health Center was launched and officially opened by the Honorable Minister today. Germany, together with the other partners in the Health Services Joint Fund, Norway and UK, were able to support the infrastructure of the health center, but also the technical equipment for the health center.
Kwisa Health Center is expected to help decongest Balaka District Hospital and will serve residents of Kwisa, Chembera and parts of Ncheu District. The facility has a catchment population of approximately 27,000 people and currently attends to an average 300 patients per day.